From Wayward Social in Marshalltown, this is Bobcat Live.
Good evening from Rosie's inside of Wayward Social. We are Bobcat Live. Excited to start it off strong right from the get-go. It's Beat Ames Week. It's week one. I'm here with Marshalltown head football coach Adam Goodvin. Adam, Friday night you guys were able to hit somebody else in a different jersey. What did you see last Friday night when you went to Cedar Rapids?
Well, I think first off it was awful sloppy, and but at the same time I'm hopeful that we were able to learn from that.
Yep.
There was a lot of learning opportunities that came away from that, and we started off very slow, but as a staff we're like, well, what have we done to prepare these guys to go out and try to play a football game, and not a whole lot, and that was kind of the purpose of last Friday. And I think we also saw some good things as well. So a lot of learning, a lot of growth this week on the practice field, and we got to be ready to go tomorrow.
And one thing I heard, I had some live text updates, and I was able to talk to football players as they were at Hy-Vee Saturday morning and kind of self-scout what they saw. A lot of them said the second part was a whole lot better than the first. There's been years where you've been able to scrimmage that Friday night before, and there's been other years where you're almost thrown to the wolves that first week. How important is it for you to know that as the gentlemen go out tomorrow night, they've had some game experience, maybe not, it didn't count, but it was game experience against another large school? Oh,
it's huge. I mean, just like I was kind of touching on is just getting our just the groove back into it. I think mentally as well. You can show up to practice every day and work hard and all that, but you're going up against your buddies.
Yep.
Being able to hit somebody that's not your buddies, and going out there and really competing and trying to win a football game is a lot different from a mental aspect. So that was huge.
What was one thing that you saw, or maybe one player you saw last Friday that really kind of exceeded your expectations of what you thought going into that night?
Well, it's I think I'm gonna say Terry Wyatt, who's a sophomore. Okay. He's got some athletic ability. We really had no idea what he was capable of, but he showed some toughness. Was in the right spot a lot of times, and really kind of opened our eyes. And we'll see where he fits in. It's a long year, and I think he's definitely someone that we're keeping a close eye on and continue to push in practice.
And I know following your time as head coach here, it always seems that there's 2 or 3 sophomores that really matter in the second half of the season that maybe we didn't know about early on. And we had Jackson Hinkle on last week. He was one of those sophomores 2 years ago, and now a really important senior player for you. I know you talked a little bit with Brandon last week about this, but one thing being out at practice that I noticed is just the ability and the quickness to make reads offensively compared to where you were last year. How much further along would you say you are offensively than you were going into that Mason City game last year?
Well, I think first off, we didn't really get to where we felt like I think it was like probably the Ames week a year ago. That's kind of where we had hoped we would be to start the year off last year, and we're way past even where we were then at this point in time. So that's huge. I've been telling everybody we've been able to pick at the finer details and really be detail. I mean, within our our steps, every single little thing that's going to help us tremendously. And we're not talking about the broad picture anymore. So it's huge.
And it's a really interesting thing. I had not watched a lot of offense like this when I knew you were making the shift. Brandon and I, we started to dig in those YouTube films, really looking at it. And the offense isn't where you have a 30-play sheet. You have roughly a handful of plays, but there's options within it. That the read, your quarterback's got to read, then you got to have just that rhythm, that timing, and then you just have to be able to repeat it over and over. Where would you say Jacob is specifically from that quarterback's position?
Yeah, we've got 2 quarterbacks right now that are very comfortable running this offense, and like you said, there's not a million plays. We've got what we call our Big Five, and then we got our mixers, which we practice our Big Five every single day in practice against every single front. We get a ton of reps in there, so our kids are going to be conditioned. but then our mixers we mix in every other day as well. Those guys, they know where to go with the football. We're really in on, like I said, the finer details on things, really trying to perfect what we're trying to do, and the hard part's going to be executing on Friday nights.
I love if you could give us just a short snapshot. Really is when you're looking at. We've talked about reads a little bit. When you're talking about the three options that the quarterback has, what is he reading to determine what he's going to do?
Yeah, with our inside veer, we've got a rule. We're reading anything 4-eye wider. He's our handoff key. We call him number 1. Our pitch key is number 2, which is that next guy wider. So we're reading shoulders. Our quarterbacks our eyes are going to be. We got to be very disciplined with our eyes. So we're going to read our handoff key. That's going to tell us to pull hand it off or keep it. Then our eyes go immediately to number 2, working downhill, whether to pitch or keep as well. So.
And just the way that plays out really quickly is we're watching the Mason City film back. Jacob on 1 made the right read and kept it, 26-yard gain. Same front, next play, doesn't make the right read, and it's stuffed at the line. It really isn't the play call, it's the read in that play call oftentimes.
Yeah, and that gets better with reps and just comfort. I mean, and we do it every single day, and it's we talk a lot about having disciplined eyes. You got to really train what you see, and if your eyes aren't in the right spot, we're going to let them know. I mean, it's important. I mean, that's the difference between getting stuffed at the line of scrimmage or going and scoring a touchdown.
Exactly. And then you look, we talked about it really started to click with Ames, and that Ames victory was a big one. You'd beat them in 2019. This was one, and you knew it meant a lot to the kids. A lot of families taking pictures of the scoreboard, afterwards with kids with the scoreboard in the back. You get a chance to come right back with them. And this is the 4th coach for Ames since you've been there. He spent some time on the defensive side of the ball a few years ago, has taught at that junior high level. But give you a snapshot of my keys to the game tomorrow with Ames is new number. Who this is like they've lost a lot of production. What are you looking at with Ames?
Week 1 it's always a toss up with there's so many uncertainties, and I think it's tough, but we got to constantly remind ourselves we got to take care of ourselves first. That's something we want to keep in our minds every single week, but more so in week 1. We've got to come out fast and firing and punching them in the mouth and just continue to keep that momentum going throughout the entire game. And then we got to just take what they give us. We're not sure what they're going to line up in. We've got an idea, but that doesn't change the fact that we've got to do our jobs and do them fast.
And I will say a shout out to the Ames coaching staff. This is the quickest we've ever had starting two deeps from Ames in the history of this rivalry. So shout out to the new staff for getting that to us. We appreciate it. One thing is, as you look at that, is your teams traditionally have been better in the second half of the year than they have been in the first. Case in point, last year, your 2 wins were Games 7 and 8 of the year. What have you done, or how do you really focus you've got some games that you can get early. How do you start out of the gate fast?
I think it's really hard. It's extremely important, and we stress it constantly how important it is to be locked in and practice every single moment, and the importance of even special teams and every single detail in what we're doing, and it's really hard sometimes with high school age kids. It really is, and I think in past we just get better naturally with our reps throughout the year in practice and all that, and I do have a little different feeling this year. I mean, we're like with our offense, we're way out ahead than we were a year ago, and I hope that's right.
Yeah, and I've felt that in talking to a couple others on your staff. Even some your student athletes. There does seem to be a little bit, at least much more comfortability of knowing, feeling confident that they're going to be able to go out and be able to execute. And then you flip to the defensive side. We know that the lines maybe are. How do you feel about defense as a whole, and where would you really look for some people to step up in?
Yeah, we've got a lot of guys coming back that played a lot of football for us a year ago. I think our secondary's got we've got a lot of guys that we can rotate in there and feel comfortable playing out there and making plays for us. And I think, our linebackers are kind of in the same boat. And up front, we're really looking for guys to step up and make a huge difference. We had to move some guys' positions, so there's a lot of new learning going on this preseason. And, like I told those guys, we wouldn't have moved them there if we didn't have confidence in their ability to learn that and go out and execute that. So they've been working hard, and they've been picking up on things, and now it's time to go.
So what are a couple names that Bobcat fans know but will see in a different position this year?
I think Talon Halstead's one. He's kind of been all over the place. He's been a wideout. He's been defensively, I think he's played every position, but he's got a long frame to him. He's got some speed and some strength, so he's going to be playing some defensive end, and he's looked good so far. He's been able to pick up some things mentally. And then Jacob Hayes, those are two guys that are football players for us that have played a lot, and they're gonna be expected to execute. I mean, we've got both those guys playing tight end on offense, and Jacob's still taking reps at quarterback as well. And then on defense, he's going to be in the rotation at the defensive back as well. So
and that's one of the things when you look at the team. You've traditionally had really tall ends. I think Lincoln Barker and of course, Gomez, but it goes much further back than that with some of your taller, more angular ends, and Talon would fit that. He's maybe a little bit lighter, but I know he's filled in some. So we talk about that quarterback position. So where are you really seeing that going with rotations in? Who do you anticipate being under center most?
We're going to start with Jamison, but at the same time, he's going to be playing a lot of defense for us too. So I was telling someone the other day, I don't think we've ever had two quarterbacks as prepared as we do right now, which is a great feeling to have. We got to keep both those guys healthy first and foremost, but both those guys are going to do an outstanding job and get the ball where it needs to be for us to move it.
Jamison Niehaus may be in any sport, just watching him play whatever sport, one of the smartest kids when you just kind of throw him out there to do the right thing. He really jumped off the film more and more so at that linebacker position last year. So by going a little bit more to quarterback, is it easier in an offense that's more run heavy, or is it just different?
I don't really know. I think with this offense, most offenses you got two guys, maybe three, you're good. With this offense, we've got to have three guys ready. It's a physical offense, and it forces you to play tough, and we feel like we've got those guys. So that's where we're at. We've got guys that we've got confidence in.
So we've got tomorrow night. Big game number one's always a big deal. Quite possibly the biggest rival. You talk to anybody from Marshalltown, if you get an Ames win, you're pretty happy. You go in, some new kids in key positions. Your staff is pretty locked tight. What are you anticipating just tomorrow, the way you're going to prepare for that game to kick off? What are you looking for as a head coach?
It's going to be exciting. Obviously, game one, it's been a while since we played a football game, and you wake up in the morning and you got that, that extra juice, and you're just like, man, everything just feels a little different in a good way, and we've got kids that have been out there on the football field and have made plays in the past, so they're going to go out there with confidence and expect to win. So that's what we're anticipating tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. We're looking forward to next week, hopefully interviewing your 1-0 head football coach, Adam Goodvin. But when we come back, we're going to have a couple of those really talented kids. We've got Anga Pramana along with Aiden Smitherman here on Bobcat Live inside of Wayward Social at Rosie's.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social. And that's just on the inside. Step outside and enjoy patio life at Gutter Point with drinks, shuffleboard, live music, and fun atmosphere. Follow Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to plan your next visit to the place for fun.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
Welcome back into Rosie's Inside of Wayward Social here at Bobcat Live. We just talked to Coach Adam Goodvin. Now we are joined by Anga Pramana and Aiden Smitherman. Big deal. Beat Ames week number 1. Anga, are you ready for tomorrow night?
I'm ready.
So, Anga, when I watch you, the biggest thing that we notice is 110% effort every single time.
Yeah.
Not afraid to square up somebody, regardless if they're big or small or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you're a dog. Straight pit bull. Where does that come from?
I feel like, I don't know, for me, taking in like that I'm like really short, I feel like I'm gonna take that as an advantage.
Yep.
So I usually just think ahead of myself, think big of myself. So
Yep.
yeah.
I think that's us short kings.
Yeah.
We got to stand out.
Yeah,
It just short is an advantage.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Now, Aiden, whenever we look at you, and whenever I talk to coaches, whenever I'm looking at a track and saying, who's that crazy fast redhead? It's you. You are incredibly naturally athletic with a ton of skill. And last year in this Ames game, it really felt like you put some things together. 7 rushes, over 70 yards, got a touchdown catch. When you're looking into this Ames games this week, what drives you on the gridiron?
Really just, the fact that it's Ames.
Yep.
Marshalltown notoriously hates Ames.
Yes, we do.
So really, I don't know. Last year, when I got into the Ames game, I put everything together and just felt, it felt natural to me. So hopefully, going into this year, everything will just come together.
And so, Anga, you've been on the team for a while, and then also coming in is hey, you were on Ames's field last year. Mm-hmm. You got that W. Now you get to bring them in here. What are you looking for, not just against Ames, but for this year? What are your personal goals to grow from last year?
I just want the same outcome, same as last year. You want to beat Ames and come out there with confidence that you're going to win. So, yeah.
And so, really, Aiden, you were a part of New Look offense last year. You have a lot of those natural skill sets. You've got that natural athleticism. You're skilled. When you get the ball in your hand in open space, you can be really special. But how do you feel compared to where you were last year in that offense and the confidence to where you are this year in that offense? How much more comfortable are you?
I feel a lot more confident in our offense. Our slot backs, all of our slot backs have been looking a lot better this year. Everybody's getting the hang of it. It's really just the thing I've focused on the biggest is being able to make the open field plays and be able to get into that open space and get to the end zone.
Yeah, it's you always have to have athletes that can break it at any point, and you're definitely one of those. What is something on the offensive side that when we're up in the press box, or maybe your parents are in the stands, and you're just it may look very simple to us, so do this, do that. What is something that's sneaky hard to read on offense, or sneaky hard about your position?
Definitely getting the timing down, the footwork, the reading the defense, seeing if the linebacker's hot, if they're up ready to blitz, if they're loose, if they're back. It's a lot. It's hard to be able to do everything at the same exact pace that you do it in practice, when it's just a whole bunch of different looks that you don't get.
Yeah, it seems to be all about rhythm, and if you're off time, it's almost like dancing and stepping on your date's feet. It all looks like it should work, but then if you're off rhythm, it just doesn't. So I want to end with this question because I feel like often the people on the team know best. Is, Anga, who is a name that I'm going to be calling a lot up in the press box that maybe people don't know a lot about, maybe didn't do a lot last year, but you think will do a lot this year?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Declan Green.
Declan?
Yeah. All right.
He's been practicing long snapping. He's been to camps. He's working hard.
So I've known Declan a long, long time, and it's fun to see him grow into that. I remember used to throwing passes to him in our front yard, and he had no hands back then, so hopefully his hands are a little bit better now. Always been fast, just he could get open, but hopefully this year he can also grab it. Yeah. So that's a good name. Yep. Anybody else?
Who else? Giles.
Okay.
Giles, he'll be playing a lot of defense for us, hopefully.
Okay. Yeah. So last thing, I don't need you to make a statement that you're gonna win, but I need you just to promise that we're gonna like the score at the end of tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
Yep. All righty, I love it. You heard it from Anga. You heard it from Aiden. When we come back, we're gonna flip and look at the golf course as we talk Bobcats golf. When we come back at Bobcat Live inside of Wayward at Rosie's.
Brown Shoe Fit has a great selection of athletic footwear. Choose from New Balance, On, Keen, Echo, and much more. Brown Shoe Fit can find the right shoe for every occasion for both men and women, including dress shoes, casual shoes, work boots, and European footwear, carrying multiple sizes and widths to ensure the best fit for you. Their expert-friendly staff is available to give you a personalized experience and can find the right shoes for what you need. Brown Shoe Fit, downtown Marshalltown. With you every step of the way.
Craving something sweet and savory? Head to your Marshalltown Dairy Queen, 711 North 3rd Avenue and 2107 South Center Street. Try the blizzard of the month, the Reese's Caramel Craze. It's packed with Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, salted caramel truffles, and rich chocolate shavings. But hurry, it's only here for a limited time. And don't miss a DQ Classic, 4-piece chicken strip baskets for just $7.49 all month long. All white meat strips, crispy fries, warm Texas toast, and your favorite dipping sauce. Get yours now at Marshalltown Dairy Queens.
Hey, welcome back to Bobcat Live. I am here with girls swimming coach Angie Nelson. I promise you, we will get to golf later in the broadcast, but we couldn't wait to jump into the deep end, and we thought, what better than to go with Angie Nelson? You've got another good team. You've got some good senior leadership, but it feels like the point heaviness of the Bobcats recently has been off the diving board as you switch with Hauser and then Tollefson really scoring points in previous years. What do you believe the strength of this team is right now?
We've got a lot of great girls that have super strength and they're very versatile. So they can swim a lot of different events. I think we're going to score a lot of points in relays this year. I think we're going to be really strong there. And I think we've got some girls who can get out and win in many different forms of competition. So just looking forward to that. We've got Harley Thatcher and Ella DeMonte on the diving board this year. A little bit different. We've had a really long run of great diving here, and we've got to build that back up. And it's going to be a good learning year for us. And I think the girls will do really, really well. But I think as a team, mostly we're going to score a lot of points in relays this year because we've got 4 returners and we've got some returning state qualifiers. We've got some great talent, a lot of versatility, and we've got some girls who can really get off the block well.
And then looking at that, and you started off really solid with Mason City, and traditionally Mason City has not been afraid to get in the pool. They've had a good history in swimming up there. What did you really see that you loved in that first meet?
We saw a lot of moxie. So we had a couple freshmen who really pulled out some good places. We got a couple second places. We got a couple third places that we really hadn't expected. And then we got a lot of fifth places instead of 6, which is always better because then you can pull a point or 2. So that's what I saw. I saw a lot of girls racing some stuff out, and that's pretty exciting to see.
And you talk about that freshman. That's always the wild card is, you may see the talent in the pool at the junior high level or in club swim, but once you see them not afraid of the spotlight, what does that do from a coach's perspective?
Well, I think it really helps. We've got a good group that's going to push themselves the further in the season we go, and those freshmen just being a part of that, I think that makes a huge difference because everybody's kind of chasing each other a little bit in practice, and then it's I call it event shopping. It's event shopping to find out where we're going to have the most success, and we've got some teams that we face that aren't very big.
Yeah.
And so, I didn't know what to expect for the first meet or how many Mason City had. So you just kind of throw out what you think is probably going to stick really well. And obviously we did. But then next week we'll go to Fort Dodge. They've got 9 girls on their team. So we can kind of mess some things around, just kind of see where else these girls can shine.
So from a coach's perspective, I always like because often many of our viewers, they may not be a swimming person, they may not be a golf person, may not be a football person, they may have played whatever sport, but they are a Bobcat person. So if you're looking at just the average fan that's going to celebrate anything that has a Bobcat on it, what would you say some of the key things for them to watch when it comes to swimming that makes it unique?
I think swimming is unique. One reason is it just takes a lot of hard work, but 2, it's like, we've got girls who are good strokers, but also good freestylers. So we can really pull a good group, and we can pull a good group this year out of this with two relays that are going to place well in almost every dual meet that we have. The invite that we have in mid-September is a good telltale of where we think we're going to be at. We've got a lot of teams that come to that. It's good competition. So that's really what we're kind of shooting for training-wise this month. And then after that, we kind of shift gears a little bit.
Yeah, and you talk about the importance of tonight. I know from cross country they're having the early Bobcat invite, and then they have the big one. But all that's to set the stage for where they go. And you talk about that early invite to just set your team. So how are you going into that? How would you adjust based on what you see at that event?
Well, I think the best adjustment is where we at sprint speed. So when we get to that first month, that's a good benchmark there with our Bobcat invite. And then we're talking about benchmark speed and where we're at and where we started from. And then we'll start really setting some goals. And then that's where you'll start to see the events start to specialize a little bit more, where they're doing the same event every other meet or every meet a little bit more than they would at the beginning. The beginning of the season here is a little bit more like popcorn, I guess I would say. Oh, I'm going to try this one here, and I'm going to try this one here and here and here. And then the next thing you know, it's like, oh, they already have their timesheet filled up. That's great. Now let's see where we're really going to excel.
So I'm interested in looking at, do you find that it's kids are more comfortable short distance versus long, or is it freestyle versus stroke? What is a bigger is someone that's a freestyler going to be more comfortable long distance, short distance, or do you see someone really confident in that short distance and can do a variety of things?
Well, that's a really good question. There are some girls that are just built for speed, and there's some girls that can swim and swim and swim the same pace for an hour.
Yeah.
And so it's just finding that strength. Addie Elmore, she's a freshman for us. She goes to GMG. She swam the 500 the other night like a beast. Yeah. And so did Drea. And so it's just it's figuring out where their strengths are. Drea's a really good middle distance and track as well. Yeah. And so we're going to see some great things out of them as they start to develop a little bit more lung capacity for sprinting. And then Leia Hernandez is a great sprinter for us. She popped a 25.8 the other night, which is great. That's super for this time of the season. But you could tell she's getting a little tired in the 100. Yeah. So we were at 57.0. For her, that's a great first meet. I think the more in shape we get, the better off we're going to be in the stamina events.
And then finally, you're talking about that mid distance on track as well. Is it a pretty strong correlation from the pool to the track, or is that just hit or miss, and sometimes it works for an analogy, sometimes it just doesn't?
I think it's an easier transition. I think once your lungs are used to being on fire, putting them in the pool and having them be on fire, I think it's a little easier transition. I still think it takes the girls a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So if they ran all summer long, there's still a little transition time there, but it's a lot easier than if you go from being a couch potato to a runner.
And last question, and this is just interested in your response. I know Coach Loopy used to always talk about it took him a while to take football players to get them built more like swimmers when they transition back in. Because there isn't the football version of women's sports, but I'm looking at Frankie over there, post player in basketball to getting ready for the pool. Is there a change in just the way they train their body that has to happen to be able to be more comfortable in the pool versus on the hard court?
Yeah, I think so. And I think if you ask Frankie, she would say that. I mean, they're learning a lot here in these first few weeks, and they're doing an amazing job of transitioning. But, most of our girls have been swimmers for a while, and some of them are a little bit newer to the sport. But I think once they get used to that lungs on fire, and then we got to get a little arm strength underneath them, they're using muscles that they just don't use in a lot of these other sports. So once they figure that out, and once we get in the weight room and get some good work going, they do well.
Well, thank you very much, Angie, and good luck to the Bobcats girls swim team. Started off strong against Mason City, and let's see if we can keep this going. When we come back, we will actually meet a couple of those girls on the Bobcat girls swim team. You're watching Bobcat Live here at Wayward Social.
Looking for top-notch eye care close to home? Eye Care Associates, with offices in Marshalltown, Conrad, and Toledo, has proudly served Central Iowa since 1990. Their expert team provides eye exams for all ages, designer frames, contact lens fittings, and treatment for glaucoma, cataracts, and other eye conditions. With advanced technology, a welcoming staff, and convenient online booking, your next visit is easier than ever. Visit visionsource-marshalltowneyecare.com today. Eye Care Associates, your vision is their priority.
How can you help Marshalltown High School and enjoy a mouth-watering burger at the same time? By ordering the Bobcat Burger at Legends American Grill. 2 quarter-pound patties with crisp bacon strips, sautéed onions, and melted American cheddar, jack, and Swiss cheeses on top of fresh shredded lettuce on a toasted bun. It's absolutely delicious. $1 from every Bobcat Burger sold is donated by Legends to Marshalltown High School activities. So, enjoy a Bobcat Burger and help MHS. The Bobcat Burger, another exclusive from Legends American Grill in Marshalltown.
Welcome back into Wayward Social. We are here with the Bobcats girls swim team. I'm joined with Libby, Rachel, and Morgan. You guys just came off first meet. If you introduce yourself, also introduce Rachel for us, because we got 3 headsets, 4 people, and I know many of you are saying, Dylan, get the headset off, give it to Rachel. We'd much rather hear from her. Sorry, contractual obligation that I have to talk. So just introduce yourself real quick, what class, what grade you're in, and then whoever would like to help Rachel out, that'd be great.
So I'm Libby, and I'm a senior, and this is Rachel, and she's also a senior.
And I'm Morgan, and I'm also a senior.
All right, so we've got a trio of seniors up here. So you all have seen a lot of the pool, and you've seen different levels. Diving has been kind of the premier on the billboard where we've really seen a lot of success, but it's not the only success we've seen. We've seen a lot of success with state qualifying relays last year as well. I'd love to know, as you look into your senior year, and we'll start with you and then go down to you, Morgan, what are you most looking forward to this year?
I'm looking forward to having state in Iowa City this year. Mm-hmm. They've usually had it at the YMCA, but now it's away, so I'm kind of excited for that. A little bit different place and routine. So, and Morgan, how about you?
Honestly, I'm most excited to see what our new girls are going to do. We got a lot of freshmen this year, and a lot of our underclassmen are really promising with a lot of things. All right,
Morgan, I need you to give me a name. Who are you most impressed with? And make sure you only say one so you alienate the others. No, you can say as many as you want.
Well, definitely either Addie or Adele.
Okay. And then as you look at that, leadership is what you're talking about Iowa City, it seems like we always start with state of that's our goal. So what do you think is the path to get there for you to be able to swim in that pool your senior year?
Yeah, just getting back in that pool and just keep racing even though you feel you're tired. We got a lot of meets left, so I feel like we got a lot of time to improve and get to that place.
And so what is, I know Coach was saying, you switch it up a little bit about who's swimming what early. What distance and what style of race do you feel most comfortable in?
My favorites are the 1500 free, so I like sprints, but I can do some distance if Angie puts me there too.
Yeah, if you have to, you can.
Yeah.
And Morgan, how about you?
Well, I'm not really a big fan of distance. I'm definitely more of a sprinter, so definitely 50s and 100s.
Okay, and just for those that may not be to the pool, 50 is just straight down, 100 is straight down and back, or is it 50s down and back and 100s? Yeah. So 50s down and back, so if you're a person that's dog paddling, you're saying even a 50's not a sprint, these ladies make it look easy. So as you look at this year, what do you think is the strength of this team?
I'd say the strength is we were already good last year, and I feel like we just got a lot of new freshmen, and we're just even better than we were. So I'm excited to see what we'll be able to do this season.
I mean, yeah, I would just definitely agree with what Libby said.
And then I'm going to put you on the spot. In the Iowa Alliance, when you look at who's the biggest competition, who do you look at as a true rival?
Probably Ames. It's always Ames.
Yeah, it's always Ames. That's why we have the Beat Ames shirt right behind your head, because that's what we want to do, beat Ames. Well, ladies, thank you very much. Really excited to learn more and more about Bobcat Swim this year, and hopefully, like you said, you'll end up in that pool in Iowa City. When we come back, we will go to volleyball. We'll talk to Coach Jen O'Neill as we dig into the 1-0 Marshalltown Bobcats here on Bobcat Live.
At Lennox Employees Credit Union, we take care of you like family. We're all about personal service, going above and beyond for our members. Whether it's home, auto, or other financial services, we're here for you. Take advantage of our always low interest rates or exclusive perks being a member can bring. Unlike others within personal services, at Lennox Employees Credit Union, we're all about that personal service. We find great joy meeting with our members to discuss their financial needs or big dreams. It's easy to become a member. Stop in today. Lennox Employees Credit Union, a family place.
Welcome into Bobcat Live. We are here with head volleyball coach Jen O'Neill. You're sitting at 1-0, and you thought, why not just go 1-0? We could do it with some style, pizzazz, drama. And many of you would have watched it here on KFJB-TV here on Tuesday night. My goodness, you started off the season with some fireworks.
Well, we wanted everyone to get their money's worth.
That's right.
I think that was our game plan going in.
So, yeah, it's a 3-2 victory. And this is, we talked with Harper Wilson. She mentioned last week that it's a very tight-knit team, but it's a very different-looking team as well. Yeah. What did you learn from this younger team in game number one?
They have a lot of grit. Perseverance, and we kind of talked about that at the end. Like, this is a great lesson in that, and really that never give up. Called a timeout at 7. We were down 7-1, and we kind of talked about that. You know, this is a big hole to dig out of, but it's not impossible. Yeah. And they just took it on their backs and said, "All right, let's go do this. We're going to do it together." And somebody today or yesterday, I can't remember, at practice, said, we're going to win together, we're going to lose together, but whatever we do, we're going to be together. And so I think that you could definitely see that last night on the floor.
When you hear that...
Sorry, Tuesday night, not last night.
When you hear that, nobody's checking their calendar.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're fine.
I don't even know what day it is, sorry.
And none of us do. It's fine. It's but when you look at and you hear that is we lose together, we win together. I'm a firm believer that every team's going to have some level of talent, but culture is ultimately the differentiator. And there are a lot of teams out there. Charles Barkley, I was listening to an interview with him. He goes, it's crazy that any basketball team's ever very good, because I played on great teams and bad teams, and it's not about talent. It's how do you get 12 people with different perspectives to go after one goal and to be one unified piece. So when you hear that as a coach, that has to sound great, right?
Oh, it's amazing. I could not ask for more. I mean, they work at that every day. Some days are tougher than others. I mean, I'm not going to lie. We have good days and bad days, obviously. But the thing that we talk about and that they are really living is one team, support each other. We've talked about, I might come in, like we have a couple people with maybe some allergy issues or sore throats or whatever, and they're like, man, I just don't know if I have 100% today. And someone else is like, don't worry, I got you. If you can give me 80, I'll get your extra 20. And they just do that. Like that's not, we talked about it at the beginning, but I don't repeat that every single day. They're just living that in the gym. And so it's like a coach's dream to just have a team that is willing to support each other, lift each other up. They're doing it for me too. Yeah. I mean, honestly, we had a talk last night, and I'm like, call me out if I don't leave, my frustrations about work or life off this court, then you tell me like, hey, Jen, we're here today. Let's focus on volleyball, because that's what we love to do. And so, it's one of those where it's a job. It's not really a job for me. It's love to be with them every day.
Well, and the passion for volleyball has been there really long history on the AAU side, the younger grades. Mm-hmm. Last year, you jumped into that head roll. You led to 14 wins, but that's a different type of, a little uneasy. Now in year number 2, how do you feel just kind of knowing that high school coach perspective for the first year now into year 2? How is that transition going?
Well, I'm a very reflective person. That the girls are going to look at me and be like, oh my gosh, Jen, you say that all the time. I do. And so really I looked at how that transition was last year. What were some things that I learned? What takeaways did I have? And then what do I need to continue to work on and grow in as a coach? And really it's making it better for them. And I know culture was one thing that was really important to me to focus on this year. And it's so easy when you have that as a goal, and the girls are like, yep, we got you, you know, and that's what we want too. So, I mean, year 1 to year 2, I feel obviously a little bit more comfortable with some things. And I'm just so lucky to have the group of girls that we have this year going into my year 2.
So, and one of the things, it's like culture is the thing that's hard to define, but you can see it. When you see it, you know exactly what it is. And one thing, if I'm walking into Boosters or something and in the roundhouse and you see volleyball practice going on, there's a lot of volleyballs and there are a lot of girls in there. Yeah. What do you see as kind of that future of volleyball as you're building that program from the ground up?
It's still a lot of volleyballs and still a lot of girls. I mean, if you would have come in tonight, we at all of our levels, we incorporated a game, a kind of a team game that I learned at an Iowa State camp or clinic this summer called tic-tac-toe. And so we had our varsity JV on one end of the floor playing that competitively. We had our all JV2, JV1, all combined mixed up playing it. It was so loud in there. It was probably louder than Tuesday night. Like they were so excited and they were having so much fun and they were learning and getting better and working together. And so that's my goal is like, let's get more kids in there. Let's just keep having that atmosphere, learning, growing, build that love for the sport. Like we have, when you walk in, you'll see it. So that's my goal.
Yeah, and it's excitement builds excitement. Nobody hates to hang out with people having a good time. It's just unless there's something wrong with you. Yeah. If there's people having fun and a good culture, well, it's safe to say I think the Bobcats definitely a great team to follow this year. It's going to be different. It's going to be a different team. You're going to see a lot of growth points, but a lot of success like we saw 3-2 over Fort Dodge. What's that next thing you're looking towards and really to measure your team?
Yeah, so we don't play this weekend, or JV does. So honestly, I'm hanging out with the JV this weekend and looking to see them continue to grow. And then all of our levels have Hoover at home on Tuesday night, and we're also looking a little bit ahead, just talking about our varsity has a big Southeast Polk tournament on September 13th, and that is tough. Like there will be ranked teams there that have been or won the state tournament, and so. I think what's also great about our culture in our gym and what we have going is when we do, run drills where it's varsity against, JV is like, sorry, we're not going to make it easy on you, and they're challenging us. And so that's really helping us as we continue to build. No matter who it is we're facing, whatever night, we're just going to continue to do that.
Fantastic. And I hope you heard her. Tuesday night, you got Hoover and you got him at home. So come out to the Roundhouse, watch some good volleyball, and cheer on your Bobcats. When we come back, we're going to have a good time with the volleyball team. We're going to go round table for the second time in Bobcat Live history. When we come back, and we are Bobcat Live inside of Wayward Social at Rosie's.
Pick up your 2025 Marshalltown Bobcat football roster t-shirt at adletengraving24.com. That's adletengraving24.com. Or stop by Adlet Engraving in Screen Print 307 Riverside in Marshalltown. Good luck, Bobcats.
You look forward to retirement as your time to relax. But now that it's here, turns out relaxation is overrated and you'd rather get back to work with an idea of your own. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement plans change course, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
YMCC? Competitive athletics. Affordable tuition. On-campus living. Online courses plus 2 campus locations. Unique programs. Career training. Small classes. Short-term hands-on training. Choose MCC.
Welcome back into Rosie's inside of Wayward Social. We're mixing it up. We're going in the round table with your 1-0 Marshalltown Bobcats high school volleyball team. Kinsley is surprised about what a camera looks like, apparently. She was very shocked that this was actually on TV. She thought we were just hanging out, I guess. But before we get rocking and rolling, I thought that we'll let the ladies introduce themselves. And now there has been some competing voices about which way I'm supposed to start. Harper, am I supposed to go away from you or start with you? All right, we're going to Harper Wilson here. Just say your name, position, great.
Okay. I'm Harper Wilson. I'm a right side hitter, and I'm a senior.
I'm Kendall Brummel. I'm a junior and a middle hitter.
I'm Bella Avis. I'm an outside hitter, and I'm a junior.
I don't have a voice. I'm Kinsley Bowie. I'm a senior, and I'm an outside hitter.
I'm Morgan Hildebrand. I'm a sophomore, and I'm a DS.
I'm Lauren O'Neill. I'm a junior, and I'm a setter.
I'm Dylan Doze. I'm a middle-aged man, and I don't play volleyball. So as we look at this season, 1-0, Harper, Bella, you were both on with us last week, but I'd love to just know the kind of the feel this season versus last, now that you've gone from that junior role to now you're a leader. You're coming off a 1-0 victory. What are you trying to teach the underclassmen and those coming up into new roles this year? We'll start with you, Harper, then we'll go to you, Bella.
I think just, again, teaching everybody to stay together as a team, even when we get down, like in the 5th set when we were down by 6, just staying together and believing in each other that we can pull out with the win, even if we get down at the start.
I'd say just staying together and being very positive. Yes.
No, sometimes things feel simple, like staying positive. It seems like, well, does that really matter? It really matters, especially in a sport. Volleyball, baseball, softball has it. It's like a fixed number. It's not a time sport. So it's not like football, the clock ran out. You always have a chance as long as there's more game to go. But as we're looking forward, you have Hoover on Tuesday. Where do you guys really think the strength of your team is? And I'm going to start to my right here. And then give it to Morgan, and we'll ask another question
I think the strength of our team is definitely our grit and how hard we work together and just leaning on each other all the time, especially when we were down in that fifth set. It was 7-1, and we were like, we didn't even know if we could come back. But like Jen said, it was like, it's hard, but it's possible. And so we all definitely leaned on each other a lot. And I think our grit and our energy just kept us together.
I agree with Lauren. We had a lot of energy. Our bench was really good. I think that really helped us. And the student section was really loud, so that also helped. But yeah.
And then I'm going to come back to you about down 7-1. The victory happened. What does that do for your confidence for the rest of the year?
I think it makes us feel better and like know that we can do it next time. Like no matter what, to always keep trying.
And Kinsley didn't want to be on. She says she has no voice. I don't know if this is true, but it's okay. It's okay, Kinsley. It's okay. But one of the things as we look again at this team, I want to end with this question. And Harper, I'm going to go to you. I want you to think out to, we said Tuesday's a game. How important is it for good crowds at the Roundhouse for you guys?
I think it's really important because, it fires us up, and it, like, especially when we were tired on Tuesday, it just kept us going, kind of. Yeah.
Anybody else have about the crowd? Bella, you tell us how important that crowd is.
Like 6, 7.
I'm trying to sell tickets to your volleyball match. Hype them up. Let's go.
Go Bobcats.
There we go. And Kinsley didn't have a voice. Well, when we come back, Coach Johnson is going to fix my short game, and I'm going to talk about a links course that I'm going to be terrible at in October. You're watching Bobcat Live here at Wayward Social.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social. And that's just on the inside. Step outside and enjoy patio life at Gutter Point with drinks, shuffleboard, live music, and fun atmosphere. Follow Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to plan your next visit to the place for fun.
From preschool to graduation day, Marshalltown Community School District prepares students for success in a global world. Embrace the lead with curriculum that prepares students for tomorrow's challenges, giving your child unmatched college and career advantages. Embrace the lead by developing talents beyond the classroom through extracurricular opportunities and by focusing on student well-being and whole child development. Create a global learning community right here in Marshalltown. Learn more at marshalltown.k12.ia.us.
Welcome back into Bobcat Live inside of Wayward Social at Rosie's. I said Coach Johnson would fix my short game. He's a coach, not a magician, so let's just stick to Bobcat golf instead. Some similar last names, but a pretty young Bobcat team. As you look into this year, what are you looking forward to with this group of gentlemen?
Yeah, well, the theme this year has really been about opportunities for new guys being able to step in. We bring back 50% of our varsity roster, and like you said, some familiar names. We got a Griesel at the top of the lineup, which I'm sure many Bobcats have seen that over the years, and then a couple Bobcats that you're going to see here in a little bit as well, who are coming back at that varsity level. And then we brought in some new guys, and we've had some real bright spots. Gavin Mishak has stepped in there and put together some great rounds for us as a sophomore. So that opportunity is what we hope guys step up and take advantage of.
And we talked with Coach O'Neill about culture and about building that culture. One of those sports that showcase that is definitely golf. Golf from young kids all the way up is it's a big deal here, and you've done a great job of leading the charge with some really high-level golfers. What is most important to you, even though the names may change, when you come in the fall putting this team together? What's the most important thing for you as a coach?
Well, I think you mentioned when we come together in the fall, but it starts way before that, and that's really what our culture is about, is guys who go out and compete. We're really fortunate because we have so many upperclassmen and graduating seniors that go on to play college golf, and they come back and they show guys what it's like to work hard and to get better and to be able to compete at that next level. And so we've been fortunate to have guys like Nate Vance and Cole Davis and Tate, and they're all there at Elmwood and showing them what it's like to play well.
And I think Cole's probably not going to be allowed back in a city tournament ever again. He just, if he's up there, he's going to win it. But you look at that, just that investment back in is such a big deal. But we talked about there's a different Griesel, a younger Griesel, but a talented Griesel, which again, on the golf course seems like it's a bit too repetitive, but what can you say about the youngest one to come up the ranks?
Yeah, Joe Griesel, just a sophomore, but he plays like an upperclassman.
Yeah.
He manages his game very well. Even last year as a freshman, there were times where I would maybe not be sure of the shot selection that he was going to take, and this year he's always doing the right thing on the golf course. And, you know, golf is a cerebral game. You have to be thinking your way around the course, and so a guy like Joe has played a lot of competitive golf, and he's seeing the advantage of that.
So, and you talk about that, just the ability, that's got to be very difficult, 15, 16 years old, to play the smart shot instead of the hero shot. Is that something that has been coached into him? Is that something about being the third that has seen his brothers be successful and probably gone up and downs? What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a reason why 16-year-old boys pay the highest car insurance rates.
Yes,
because of the fact that they sometimes want to go all out. And so I think he's spent a lot of time on the golf course, and he knows sometimes, you know, it's better to take the bogey than bring double or triple into play. And so that's something we definitely talk a lot about as a team, and he does the right thing most of the time.
And so, and hypothetically talking about some person that may or may not work for KFJB-TV, in their short game, when they're trying to get on the green, we'll call them Dylan. We'll just say the person is Dylan.
Hypothetically,
and
yes.
Hypothetically, and you're finding that all your shots are veering. I'm right-handed, that they're not like hooking, but they're going, everything is kind of fading left going into the green. Now, ChatGPT told me I'm holding the grip too tight. What would you say my issue is beyond talent and I don't go out golfing enough?
Well, I think you mentioned it. You know, the short game is something that you have to work on an awful lot. I would not put too much stock in ChatGPT for your golf game.
That's what I figured.
But,
I was on the 17th hole, very frustrated with my last shot, and I had no other place to go.
Somebody to talk to, right?
Yes, that's right. All right, well, that's good, and I appreciate the help. It's probably beyond repair, but I'm excited. We're going to bring up Jacob and Parker after this. What can you say about these two gentlemen?
These two guys are now stepping into that leadership role. They're underclassmen last year, and now they're juniors. And so we talked with them at the start of the season. The expectation is to be able to contribute and be a counting score. And not only are they good leaders on the golf course, but they're great kids in the classroom. And I was fortunate enough to teach them both as 8th graders, and so I knew we were going to get some really good kids coming up.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to talking to Parker and Jacob right after this. This has been Coach Lucas Johnson, Marshalltown Bobcat golf coach and helper of KFJB-TV host Short Game. You're watching Bobcat Live here inside of Wayward at Rosie's.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is your local furniture store in Marshalltown. With their extensive inventory, you're sure to make a winning selection when you shop McGregor's for your bedroom, living room, and dining room furnishings. McGregor's has the right play for every room in your home. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is proud to be your locally owned and operated furniture store since 1896 and very proud to support Bobcat Athletics again this season. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown, open 7 days a week.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
Welcome back to Bobcat Live, and we are here with junior golfers Parker Christian and Jacob Seeberger. Coach Johnson just sang your praises. Now moving from that sophomore to junior role, being counting scores. Parker, we'll start with you and then go to Jacob. How do you feel that leadership transition, going from that underclassman to a junior, now being a team leader? What does that mean to you, Parker?
I mean, it definitely changes a lot going from sophomore to junior year. Just like making smart choices on the golf course. You can't really blow up. I mean, you can, but you have to be smart with your decisions because, you know, maybe the 5 and 6 don't have a better round, and you have to count, and then you know. So you really have to be smart and just go for the.
Jacob.
Transitioning more off the course, I like to be able to be more of that leader to the underclassmen. We have a lot of young guys coming out, kind of their first year. I like being the person to maybe give little tips, and like he said, you do kind of have to focus on your game a lot more. It's not only just for fun. You gotta, you know, your score is going to count most of the time, and got to make sure it's a good one.
And you want that score to be lower. That's really important. And I appreciate, you know, Parker, you're talking about on the course. Jacob, you're talking a little bit off the course of that leadership needing to give to the underclassmen. So this is a young team. This is one of the younger golf teams that we've had. Joe himself a sophomore, but others you're talking about maybe even new to the game, but new to the team. Jacob, from your perspective, being around this group, who's a name on the team that you think has a lot of talent that maybe we don't know about, maybe we don't read about in Bound yet, that they're not one of those 3-4 counting scores, but there's some talent there?
Yeah, well, I asked Aiden Holmgren about what he shot at our qualifying round, and it was like 125, and then the next 2 practices he's like, hey, I just shot a 105, and then just shot a 95, and he's just progressively getting better and better, and hopefully he sticks it out and does it his junior and senior years, and hopefully he's one of those counting scores those years too.
He's just got that kind of sweet left-handed and just looks normal. He just looks like an athlete that can swing it, and that makes sense. So Parker, from your perspective, as you go into the season, what are your goals, I think, from a team first, and then from you personally? What's the score that you want to chase this year?
I mean, hopefully as a team, whatever gets us to state.
Yeah.
And then individually, just I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can shoot even at once, but.
Even, and then Jacob, from your perspective, from that team, he's saying whatever gets you to state, and that's really the right answer. But from a personal perspective, do you have a number you're shooting for, or are you really more of a hole-by-hole person? It's like, let's just take care of what's in front of me?
Well, kind of depends on the day, but I think as a team, a good benchmark is 300 for your 4 counting scores. We shot a 308, I think, at Grandview for our couple meets ago, and hopefully breaking 300 and staying under that consistently would be good. I would say for me, just being a consistent counting score. I mean, anything under 80 is pretty good, so I guess anything under 80, that'd be solid if I can keep that consistent.
All right. Well, I had Coach Johnson fix my short game, and I have to be out for work out in Dublin, Ohio, and part of the networking is they've got a really nice links course out there. I have never golfed links course in my life. I'm already anticipating apologizing to people I don't quite know yet about how bad it is. But have you played a links course, and then what's one piece of advice you can give me?
I would say play smart. A lot of the times there's less trees, so there's more wind. But if it's me and you start off really rough, just swing as hard as you can.
I like it.
Just have fun.
Grip
At
it
least
and
have
rip
fun,
it.
yeah.
Grip it and rip it. Got it. And Parker, you got any advice for me?
Yeah, I'd just play smart. off the tee for sure. You don't want to go into those bunkers or off to the left or right in that rough. So.
And if I ever get into one of those bunkers, chances are I'm not getting out. So thank you for watching Bobcat Live. Thank you to Jacob. Thank you to Parker. Thank you to all our guests tonight. We will be back tomorrow night because it's Beat Ames week. We'll see you at Leonard Cole Field tomorrow night on KFJB-TV.